Good morning and welcome back to 501c TV. I'm your host, Janelle Harris, and this is the podcast that talks to system change leaders, thought leaders, nonprofits, and nonprofit partners to find out what is new and exciting in our world of nonprofits. And today I have with me, I'm very excited, I have India and O'Brien Edwards with Raw Academic Services. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
I'm very excited to have you guys here. All about academic services.
That's it.
This is super important, especially I have kids of my own, so I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say today. So let's start out with maybe just by introducing yourselves and where are you guys from? How did we get here?
I'm India Edwards, and I'm from Riviera Beach, Florida.
Awesome. So you are like from, it's rare sometimes,
Yeah.
like in this area, everyone's like from somewhere else. So I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. I'm O'Brien Edwards. I'm also from Riviera Beach, Florida.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah, so we're Floridians and
I love it.
Natives, locals, yeah.
I love it.
Absolutely.
So you love when you hear people like me say, I'm from Chicago, and you're
Right.
like, what are all these people doing in South Florida?
Welcome.
Thank you. So tell me a little bit about Raw Academic Services, and what is your guys' background? And how did we start this? I want to know everything.
Okay.
You want to start first?
Okay, I can start first.
All right.
So, we're both educators.
Okay.
We're both educators. Awesome. My mom is a former educator. My late mother, she just passed away recently.
Sorry to hear that.
But yeah, she started off in education, and this is just something we love to do. I've been in education since 2007.
Awesome.
Right. So I met my lovely wife at work.
Awesome.
Right.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I met her at work.
I love a good romance story. Maybe we can hear this story too. Okay, also let me back it up. What did you guys teach?
So we're special educators.
Okay.
So
Even
we're
better.
under the field of ESD. So it's different exceptionalities, EBD, ASD, SLD. So
Awesome.
and then with that we also teach and support content areas as well.
Okay, I have so much respect for ESD. ESD teachers, just it's amazing what you guys do. So
Right.
thank you for doing that.
Specialize in math and reading and in pretty much any subject. In the state of Florida, you have to get familiar with just about everything.
Right.
So
Yes.
we're kind of like well-rounded in everything we do.
Yeah, I did notice that. So I have a fifth grader and a eighth grader now,
Yeah.
and my fifth grader, like some of the teachers that she started out with, they're like teaching different grades now.
Right.
And I was like, wow, this is very unique because you know back where we come from, it's like if you're like eighth grade social studies, that's
Correct.
It's where you stay.
Correct.
It's where you live. So that's awesome. So you guys have both been teaching since like 2007?
I've been teaching since 2013 with Palm Beach County School District.
Got you.
But I also been in childcare as well as a curriculum specialist.
Okay, awesome.
For 5 years before entering to Palm Beach County School District.
Amazing. Okay. And O'Brien, are you still teaching?
I'm still teaching.
I love it.
I'm still teaching. I also coach football as well.
Very cool.
We both teach at Palm Beach Gardens High School right now.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Right.
Awesome.
And so in addition to tutoring and everything, we also I also coach football, offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, currently interim head coach. So
Do you guys play Palm Beach Central?
we do. We have
Yes.
Palm Beach Central coming up later on this year. Yeah.
That's where we feed into. That's where that's where my son will probably end up going next year. So,
Yeah, I got it.
Awesome.
We beat them last year, so yeah. Oh yeah.
We're gonna have to watch this one. I don't know.
Go Gators.
That's awesome.
Yes, because we're ready.
Good for you. Good for you. So, so then you guys decided to start this foundation or this nonprofit called Raw Academic Services, right? And tell me why? Where did that come from? What need did you guys see? And tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we noticed, I can say around like 2019, before the pandemic, with the transition that happened, we had to start teaching virtually. And so within that virtual setting, a lot of students were struggling academically. Even our kids, we were very afraid of, how they were going to respond to that.
Absolutely.
And then besides our kids, we also noticed that other kids within the community needed additional assistance. So with that in mind, we decided to, how about let's tutor, after school, and make sure that they get what they need, and that they we're able to check in and check out with them. And so from there, we decided to start the tutoring. We have the Edwards Rochester Enrichment Services. That's our profit.
Okay.
And we understood, we started that in 2019.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, very successful. We serviced over 200 clients, and the numbers are still rising from there, like within the Edwards Rochester Enrichment Services. And from there, we realized that in order to expand and run certain programs, we had to think really, big about, okay, what's our next step?
Mm-hmm.
And so with Raw Academic Services, with the nonprofit, to be able to operate and to make sure that we have everything in place for students or parents that cannot afford the services, we need to make sure there's certain things in place
Absolutely.
to receive the services that we offer, and to also be able to hire teachers and academic tutors to support our vision and what we do in the community.
Awesome. How old are your children?
We have 6 kids.
Okay.
And so
Not busy at all.
Right.
Don't have your hands full.
Oh, definitely busy. Our youngest, he will be 2
Oh my gosh.
in September.
So sweet.
We also have Orion, he's 6, and then we have 2 8-year-olds.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and we have 12-year-old.
12-year-old
And
and
a
a soon-to-be 14-year-old.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a 13-year-old, and I was like, once he turned 13, I was like, what happened here?
Oh, yeah. It's a switch.
A switch
It's a
went off. I
switch.
was like, where is my sweet child?
It's a switch, correct.
What has happened here? The reason I ask is that I have a daughter that is in 5th grade, and I feel like her, so during the pandemic, she was in kindergarten, and I feel like for some reason, like her age group, that took a toll on them.
Absolutely.
Big time.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the other piece of Raw Academic Services is providing that mental health service that a lot of times is excluded from education.
Right.
But, science determines, and every major research that's on academics determines you can't separate mental health behavior from academics. So that's
Hand
one
in
thing
hand.
that we infuse as well. We also have a Raw Academic Services has a the tutoring and enrichment aspect to it.
Okay.
In addition to the mental health
Gotcha.
services, where we infuse both.
So let's talk about everything that you guys offer, right? So what are all the programs? What are all the services? And also, is there a specific age or grade that you guys are targeting on who to help?
All grade levels.
Okay, all
K
grade
through
levels.
12.
Good.
All subject areas, and
Okay.
even SAT, ACT, GED preparation, and workshops for families as
Okay.
well. We offer one-to-one services, tutoring services. We offer group services as well. We successfully ran a summer. 3, actually.
3.
Do you want to speak about that one?
Yeah, we ran 3 successful programs this year, tutoring programs. One was during the spring of this year.
Okay.
That was during the spring of this year. Then we ran 2 summer academic programs concurrently.
Awesome.
And so, I would say about anywhere between 150 to 200 students were serviced
That's
in
a
the
ton.
summer. That's a lot of kids.
And they did not have to pay.
No.
Are you serious?
Not on pay.
No, it was based on donations, sponsorships.
Yeah.
They
That
did
is
not have to
incredible.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So when you guys run these summer programs, is it like is it kind of like a wraparound program, like how they call it summer slide? So you stop going to school and you're just like, I forgot everything that I learned last
Right.
year.
Correct.
Is that more of what kind of program it was? to keep us
1,000%.
sharp?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
then you still have the one-to-one tutoring
Okay.
or enrichment going on. I know
Awesome.
sometimes tutoring and enrichment kind of gets combined,
Absolutely, yeah.
but they have a separation. So
And do you guys have
Keep
a
going.
facility that you run this through, or are you partnered up with a space?
So we're mobile.
Oh,
And
you are?
yeah,
Cool.
we're mobile.
Okay.
So we're also virtually, and we do have a space where people come. We invite them into our home.
Awesome.
We service at churches.
Very
We service
cool,
at
yeah.
local libraries. We're able to kind of go anywhere.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
And how many other teachers do you guys have like in your network that are providing all the services?
So we hired between 14 to 20 teachers.
Correct.
That's a lot.
Throughout within this year. We hired 14 to 20 teachers to assist, and we divided them by age groups.
Okay.
So to make sure that they get that intentional support.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome. What year did you guys start doing this?
2019.
In 19. Okay. Wow. So yeah, you guys have like done a lot in like a
Yeah.
short amount of time.
Absolutely.
I love this.
We pride ourselves on that because
You
we want to
should be.
make sure we reach as many people as we possibly can. There is a lot of people who need extra academic, services. The time that they have in school, you just cannot get it done. And, children, if you can kind of reach them early, get that early academic support, early intervention. Like we said, we ESC teachers, so we understand how to take a kid from where they are and grow them.
Well, and you also understand that, sometimes kids in ESC programs, they don't do well in like a traditional environment.
Right.
They need something different. They need something a little more unique, outside of the box.
Correct.
So when you talk, you tell me about things like, we go to the beach or we do fishing and we wrap that into, a lesson.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
I think that's so cool. So,
Absolutely.
how rewarding is it for you guys to have grown up here and then also be able to be connecting and helping kids that are, in your backyard and where you grew up?
Go ahead.
For me, it's truly a blessing. It's a blessing. It's like, just giving back, because I can remember when I needed the help and when I needed assistance, and there was always someone that I truly believe that was, God given in my space to do whatever I need at that time.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure, we want to make sure that we're there to support kids' mental space, their education in any way possible, because we understand just with that little hope that they can prosper. Some may not feel that, so we are here to make sure that they know that we're here to support you and we're ready for you, when they're ready. So it's a blessing to be in the community and to just see just the witness, folks seeing us. Oh, they're all growing. Look what you're doing. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're definitely doing this, and it's happening. So
and one thing I always think about, I love my teacher friends because I have so much respect for what you guys do, how you handle it day to day, and I mean you're essentially like a parent and a role model
Absolutely.
to everyone's kids that are out there. So I really respect you guys for that. So I just want to say that. But I also love that I read a lot of books or I see interviews with people that are like really successful. And one thing that I find a lot of times, they have like a favorite teacher. And it's always like, hey, what do you attribute to? And, maybe it's a parent and that, that's great. But there is always a teacher. They're always like, oh, I remember. Like,
Yes.
One thing we do with our parents is we ensure them that we can attend meetings. Like we go to the IEP meetings. We can self-advocate with them with what they need academically. So we carry them throughout the whole school year to make sure that everything is set up for success. And the parents feel so appreciative that we go above and beyond because they don't know. And oftentimes, they're too busy trying to make sure, they make ends meet where they don't have time to know that. So we go above and beyond to make sure this is what's coming up. This is what happened, that the teacher, let you know that the testing came out and let's look at this. And they're like, oh, I don't know. And they're so appreciative of that.
Yeah, and I think that's so huge because I even think about, you think about generational education. If I'm a student and I've got a bright future ahead of me, but maybe my parents didn't finish high school. They don't know what the options are. They want to do right by their children and steer them in the right way, but sometimes they just don't have the tools to do that.
We are the examples of that.
Which is amazing.
We are that example. Neither, my mom didn't graduate high school until I got into college.
Right?
So we were the example of where do we go from here? So we made those mistakes early. We was able to, learn from those, those trial periods and turn them into, testimonies. And now we want to come back and give that information, to so that someone who's also striving to do better has a beacon, has a somewhere to go to.
Totally.
To get that information, and it's accessible like this. You don't have to research 30 different,
It's nauseating.
You
I
are
mean,
right.
there's so much information, and that's the thing. Like, even like I was just having this conversation this morning with one of my girlfriends. Even like going into high school, right? There's honors classes, there's AP, there's ACE courses, there's dual enrollment, there's
Correct.
IB, and my friend is like, I don't even know what all this is.
How do I know what to choose?
No
that's
idea.
where we come into the
That's where
picture
we come
to
into play.
educate and walk you through it.
What a
Absolutely.
wonderful resource that you guys are here and able
Yeah.
to provide that. So I think that's so amazing. So you should
Absolutely.
be very proud of that.
Very proud.
So what other things do you guys have in the works? What do you want to see in another 5 years? You guys have so much like amazing things in place already.
So we would like to be able to like get into the schools during the day as well. For certain students, we would like to be able to like get in and service them. In schools there's a term called the Lord 25, and many times it's just not enough support
Absolutely.
from the community. Now the school district, they have their funding source, and that's governed by the state or
Sure.
even the federal government. We would like to be able to at some point be able to have other professional certified teachers to be able to circulate within the schools and increase these numbers so that not only are the kids benefiting, but the entire community is benefiting, because we know these kids are going to come back in the community and actually work, build, do everything. So we want to make sure that our community is set for the long run.
Absolutely.
And it starts and ends in the schools.
Yeah, and it's totally full circle. Like I could totally see it would be great if you could, think about kids that are even in aftercare to come in after school, even for like an hour, and have somebody sit down with them, help them do their homework. That's
Correct.
a huge thing.
Absolutely.
Some of these kids go home, they don't have somebody to help them do their
we
homework.
can definitely support the aftercare programs. Like that'll be one of the goals. We also want to be able to, we are mobile, but we were thinking about designing one of the buses or the vans to have like laptops and computers, where we can go into communities where families do not have transportation,
Right.
or they don't understand the content that the kids just can come on, and we can like go into the community and support them with their homework
Right.
and whatever they need. Like it's right there.
That'd be so cool.
And then having a permanent location, where teachers can come in and bring in, students can come in and get the ongoing homework or projects that they're working on throughout the school year.
Absolutely.
This is ongoing throughout the school year, where the parents do not have to worry about coming out of their pockets for it, that it's already there, and that the services is just waiting for you to be used.
Yeah, which is amazing.
The other great component of what we do is training young teachers as well. So there's been a huge teacher shift, and a lot of teachers are leaving the field, and so
There's a
now
shortage to begin with.
Correct.
And then
so now you have to
people are
bring
leaving.
in younger teachers, or teachers who are not as experienced, who don't really have the opportunity to work on some of these protocols or techniques that you need in order to successfully teach. Well, we give you, we allow that space and that opportunity for young teachers to come on and actually practice those skills with real professionals, and then be able to go back in their classroom and apply what they saw work in real time.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And also, there's just a lot of burnout, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Young teachers come in, the class sizes are overwhelming. I mean, there's a lot of test standards to meet. I mean, I have a lot of teacher friends, and I am like,
it's a whole different,
It's tough. It's different. It's not like being a teacher 30 years ago.
No, it's not.
It's not.
That's the reason why I came in 30 years ago.
And you're like, I'm still here. I'm
Right.
making it work. But I think that's so valuable because, to the profession as a whole, you want people to stay and have that passion and not leave, So if you could provide those resources to them and keep them happy and
Absolutely.
mentally okay, like not burning out right away. So I think that's really cool. It's like a really unique perspective on it too. I hadn't even thought about that point. Like a young teacher
that's
coming
huge,
in.
because if you gain that confidence that you're able to, execute this protocol,
right?
now you feel more comfortable in the classroom teaching a kid that, you just dealt with a kid who is like low functioning, outside of the school. Now you're dealing with that same kid inside the school.
Right.
Now you have an actual connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah, relationship is huge.
That's so
That's
cool.
one thing that, before we even hire, we always, speak about, make sure you develop that relationship with them before you actually deliver the content. Without the relationship, the content will not, be delivered because the child's not going to process it.
Absolutely.
They have to know that you actually care about what you're teaching them and how important it is for them to know it.
Yes. And not just spinning information at them.
Exactly.
And,
Don't
make
do
it
that.
boring. And,
Correct.
Because they know. They are aware. They're more so aware than anything. And I believe that's because of social media.
Yeah.
What they're exposed to.
That could be a whole nother podcast. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
On each of our websites, we do have a donation link for our websites, and they can donate through Zephy.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, they can donate. If you would like to donate, click on the link, and then it goes. That money goes directly to
The goal.
services.
Yeah. I love that. That's so cool. Any other things you want to add? Because we are almost out of time. I told you this goes really fast.
I know.
What do you want people specifically? Well, let's start here. What's something maybe that they don't know about you guys that you want them to know?
I know we touched on the mental health aspect of it. That's something that's near and dear to our heart. I mentioned that my mother passed away earlier this year. She passed away February 22nd. 10 days later, my oldest brother, Carlos Edwards, was murdered.
Oh my goodness!
After
you guys,
her,
I'm so sorry.
But he was a major advocate in Riviera Beach. His name is Carlos Edwards, a major advocate for mental health services, and that's just something that he was making. He was making a lot of waves, even contributed heavily to a new mental health facility that's actually being built in Riviera Beach right now.
Oh my gosh!
And so
That's awesome.
a part of what we do is lived on through them, and we're going to make sure that we finish, or not finish, but continue my brother's mission, our brother's mission.
I love that.
So
That's awesome.
And we're
guys.
working on, in the name, in Carlos' name, we're working on scholarships that we would like to provide to students that major or thinking about going into the mental health components in college. So we're working on that as
I
well.
think that's incredible.
he had my brother had a nonprofit called I See You,
Okay.
right? I See
Yes.
You. And so the scholarship would be called the I See You Scholarship.
I love that. Okay. So let's wrap with an inspiring story. So tell me about maybe a student or two, we have time, who really made an impact on you and who, like, you guys were like, this is why we do what we do.
You gotta go with
Which one? What you gonna?
no, you gotta go with
A nickname.
no D.
Oh, okay. So we had, I think it's his second year, and with tutoring, we also give like a checkpoint of how long the client can be with us, but
Sure.
they want to just stay. Like
I was going to say, I'm sure they don't want to
the
leave.
continuation. I'm like, well, such and such met their goal, and they're like, no, he's coming back to you. And I'm like, are
gonna
you
stay.
sure? He has a 4.
Yeah.
The 5 is the highest on the PM ones. I'm like, he has a 4. But this kid, he came to us, and the fluency and the decoding, was not up to par. He was like 2 grade levels below. He was in 4th grade. He started working with us, and for 2 years now, he's entering in his 3rd year. He's a 6th grader at
awesome.
Duncan Middle.
Okay.
His improvement happened drastically, where his grandma called and was like, Miss Edwards, can you read this report, because it says that he's on this grade level, and I can't believe that he's on. I was like, no,
It's right.
It says 6th grade. Oh my! It's like, oh, so
That's so awesome.
He came in 2 grade levels behind.
yes,
Right?
and jumped right on grade level, entering into middle school. And the fact is, he was very, first quiet, and one thing as Mr. Edwards said that the motivation, the accountability is very huge, which relates to the mental health of where the child is. If they don't have the motivation and the encouragement, understand why this is their own and the ownership, then they're not understanding why I need to know this.
Correct.
But we definitely, anything that we do when we deliver the information, we definitely tie it back to why this is important for you to know.
Absolutely.
And once he owned that, oh my goodness, it's like they started teaching me, and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly why you're here.
I love
we
that.
definitely accomplished the goal, but then they come back, and I'm like, okay, what's next? Let's take it up a notch, and that's where we definitely we're able to enrich, because now you're above grade level, so let's.
And how much more confidence
Oh my God!
does that kid have walking in? Like, sit up a little straighter, like, I got this, I can do this.
And I love
That's
it.
huge.
Oh yeah, being a high school teacher as well, we do preparation for geometry or algebra 1.
That makes me shudder.
And so she was like 1 points away, but I knew that we have retakes. Like, one thing I love about the district is that they give the kids the opportunity to take it over and over until they get it right, which is so important.
Huge.
And so I told her, I was like, when she came in, she was very quiet, and I'm like, no, you got this. Like, one thing we teach them too is what you don't know is not going to hurt you.
Right.
Okay, so let's just realize what we know. Let's take that into consideration. And what we don't know is what you need to know.
Right.
And she used that method. And the next day she passed her ELC, and she was so proud of herself about that, because it's okay. We don't know everything, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay that you don't know, but don't feel like disencouraged, or don't feel unmotivated to get to know what you need to know,
because you don't know this small piece of a bigger puzzle.
Yeah. So
and that's the thing. It can be so
many success stories.
Deflating. You know what I mean? Like, these tests there's so much stress around them.
They are.
And I feel like, to your point, like they put so much pressure on themselves, and then it's like, if they feel like, they're a perfectionist, like a lot of kids are, and they're like, they shut down because they're like, I can't do this. I'm never going to know it. That stinks, because you know that everyone has the power to do that and can do it.
Correct. And because we facilitate and administrate testing, I always tell the kids, just breathe through it. The anxiety is there. We all have it, in different forms. It's okay. Do your best. Yeah. And that's all you can do. And that you could just see, okay, I got it.
Oh, that's got to be so rewarding.
It is.
So awesome.
So those coping skills.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, sometimes you need somebody to just walk you through it and, be a friend and a guide, and be like, it's going to be okay. Because if you don't have that, it's like,
and many
get discouraged.
And so the ones that does not,
yeah,
those are the ones that we want to make sure we're reaching out to as well, because they probably don't have that in a home environment. And so
they can do it. They're smart enough. They're capable. They have all the skills. It's like they just need that extra little love and push. So, well, I can definitely see the passion that you guys have, and like I said, I think, it's a testament to being a teacher, especially being an ESE teacher for so long. I really appreciate you guys doing everything in our community, because, to your point earlier, makes the whole neighborhood, the whole community, everybody's better. These are our kids that are going to graduate and come back and, work in our community and be around. So I just love it. Great story.
Absolutely.
So proud to have you guys on here. And we are out of time, as usual. Dang, Jacob.
Goes by fast.
It does go fast. But everyone needs to check out Raw Academic Services. We'll put all of your social handles up, so everyone can get in touch with you.
Absolutely.
And if you want to help out, please donate. All that money is going. Let's help Indiana O'Brien set up their
we are going to have some fundraisers coming up.
I love that. Yeah. Yes. So let's follow along. Everyone can follow along on social and see all the good things that they're doing. And I hope to see you guys again soon, and we'll keep an eye on you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
So we're out of time again here at 501c-TV, but I appreciate Indiana O'Brien being here. Incredible work, and just blown away. And a special thank you to Kana House Studios, Wellington's first and only social content creation studio. And we will see you here again next time on 501c-TV.